Welcome to Healings and Meditations with Frank Jordan and the Earth Mind Think Tank Group. We welcome all listeners and chatters. Any questions can be called in to 1-775-657-5973. 1-775-657-5973. If you're in the chat room on Wolf Spirit Radio, which is wolfspiritradio.com/wolf chat, please post questions in uppercase letters, in capital letters. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Earth Mind Think Tank Group, a very special group of evolved persons who get together twice a week or more frequently, and we do Earth Mind work, of working directly with the Devic forces of consciousness of Mother Earth, and with the pure and simple intent of using the power of group mind consciousness that we share through the Skype and Wolf Spirit Radio, and reaching out and touching others around the world who are of like mind and sets of consciousness. And the primary attunement is to work directly with anything having to do with Earth energies or energies of the solar system and of the universe, whatever we're prompted to bring through and do. And we have a wonderfully spontaneous group here that will speak for us and bring their thoughts and their clearing ideas. And what inspired this call today is that Sunday night, Francis and Stephen came through with some new information and a lot of wonderful new openings of consciousness to us. And we didn't really do too much healing except through the general group mind consciousness. And interesting enough, I'm getting some wonderful responses back from people who experienced that. And so we knew that we were missing the full moon Sunday night, so our intent was to take that full moon power, and all of us who could tune in and participate in that. Diane set up a wonderful crystal pyramid that hopefully she can have a video of here for us somewhere along the way. She can introduce that and talk about it. And so this afternoon, what we want to do is step into the creation of our minds and consciousnesses and our group mind spirit, so that we can empower the Grand Cross and carry everything forward. And we hope that in doing so, we'll be able to utilize the new moon, the full moon, and the red moon, and all that power that's generated there with our intent, and with Stephen and Francis's program, carry that forward into the new world of reality that we are creating. And so, with that, we have all the members of the active Earth Mind Think Tank group here, and we have a special guest, one of Joan's friends from Denver. Alethea is with us. And we just spent a wonderful morning and early afternoon on a trip up to Garden Valley to look at the facilities that we're pulling together for our World Healing School, where we'll invite people in, teachers in, to participate in healing and teaching students. And through the communication of Wolf Spirit Radio, we'll have a worldwide audience, and we invite the world to come to us. We will have facilities to bring people from the airport directly to Garden Valley, and we'll have plenty of housing for as long as they want to stay. And we'll have, the way it's shaping up is we're going to have practitioners from virtually every modality of healing available, and clients will be checked in by a medical doctor when they come, and each person will receive a reading, a medical reading, a medical empath reading, and then pass along to the various healers with the specialty that person can use. And no matter how long it takes, you will experience your healing and your learning, because it's going to be a growth of consciousness as much as anything else. And then you'll be checked out by the doctor, the medical professionals you leave, and we'll be able to observe the changes, the shifts, the growth, the healing, and we'll have a full history for you in the future. So that is coming very rapidly. We see that, and the practitioners are beginning to turn their attention toward us now, and we're cautiously opening up to inviting people in each of the modalities, and they will cycle through from one period to another, and so that anyone who wants to come and teach and experience and grow can. So with that, I'd like to invite Diane to open things for us. And Diane, perhaps you can talk about your crystal pyramid. You've got some wonderful videos. If you could show us for that, that would be wonderful.
Okay, well, those videos are on YouTube, and I guess I'll figure that out. I hadn't gotten too far into what I was going to do with them because I was up until 3:30 this morning, so I got them put on YouTube, and that's as far as I got. But it was really wonderful to this is the thing I like to do the most, is to work with the crystals and stones and to bring them out into the moonlight. But I had a special inspiration because of Frank's guiding us to work with the 0 point and explaining the 0 point as being like 6 pyramids, all with point touching in the middle, that the outside would actually form a cube. And I couldn't really visualize it until I realized I had a structure in my house that I'm the caretaker of this beautiful, which is 3 levels of this exact cube made out of 6 pyramids pointing inward, and at the very center of each of the levels is a resin ball with crystals coming out in 6 directions. So it's the higher, lower, the front, the back, forward in time, back in time, and the female side and the male side, as Frank talks about the 3 orbs, the 3 spheres. And so I realized that if I could figure out a way to get the light, the LED light that Frank sells, that plays with different chakra colors through a big crystal underneath this, that it could generate subtle energy field up and through and magnify, and at the very top is the pyramid cap, which would send this up into the grid, into the golden grid. No, and so yes? Sorry. And so I set that up outside with the light underneath it, and it actually, it became more powerful than I expected. And what I did was, I also took my MP3 player outside with the Sunday program, the Healings Meditations, where the galactic tones came through. And we had intended as a group to send those into the grid to be showered down upon us. And the way it came to me this morning when I woke up was that the energies of last night were a slingshot to send forward. Like I had the vision of, when I was a kid, I would fly a kite. I would wait for the perfect day. I would plan for the perfect, I had the right amount of string, and I had the perfect wind was blowing perfectly, and out I went and sent it up, and it went up, 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 up. And then we would put a little, I don't know if you guys know about doing this, but we used to write our wishes on a piece of paper and then wrap the paper in a cone around the string at the bottom where our hand was and let it go, and it would fly up to where we had sent the kite. So that's the impression I woke up with this morning, is that now coming up to this Grand Cross, we are sending our intentions ahead of us into our future, and we're just going to be lifted into that. So the energies will be a big wave we could ride, and that was my experience last night and this morning. It was really.
Do you have a video so you can show us your creation?
can't show a video on the radio. But I do have, I'm not sure how I should share it.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Okay.
Share it Skype, maybe, but...
Mm-hmm.
But Frank, I'll figure out a way.
All right. Not having listened to the program that we did Sunday night, I'm not aware of literally what Francis and Stephen did. And because I can never remember these things. They're totally channeled, and I'm in an out-of-state condition. So if there's any portion of that, Diane or Gary, that you could want to clip and replay here for the program that might be beneficial, please feel welcome to do that if you can do that in our 2 hours.
Yeah, while someone else is participating, I can set up a short segment on the MP3 right here, so I'll try that.
All right. Okay, does anyone else have any ideas that you'd like to contribute initially here of what we can do and where we can go?
Well, last night I was inspired by some of the things that you shared with the same instrument that Diane is working with. I have a instrument that was made by Slim Sperling. It's an environmental harmonizer. And so I took my ear phones and put the galactic tones on this and knew that it amplified this energy out 60 miles radius to the area in which I live. And I just think the more of this that we can all do, and it radiates up out into the grid, just keeps bringing, I feel like we're ushering some of these energies here. And so that was something I was inspired to do last night.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a new member in our think tank group also, Walt Silva, and I've been working with him in his clearing work for a couple of months now, and he has some unique abilities that he's bringing to us. He makes wonderful pyramidal structures and energy structures. Walt, can you tell us what you do and maybe explain some and give us your website so we can check it out?
Okay. Is my voice coming across?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, as I was explaining to you yesterday and Joan, my work started many years ago when I started investigating the issue of orgone, how orgone becomes saturated with electromagnetic energy, and it goes from a healthy state into a stagnant state, which is counterproductive for human health. And at the time, in researching, what's out there that can change the status of orgone from stagnant orgone, or DOR as it's called, to healthy orgone. And I came across the group of people that at the time were working with what they coined the term orgonite. That was Dr. Carl Venz who came up with the term, which is the mixture of resin and metal shavings. For those that haven't heard of this, the purpose of that is because organic materials attract and store orgone, metallic materials conduct and repel orgone, so the combination of the two have that pulsing effect. They attract and repel, and that would change the status of stagnant orgone into healthy pulsing orgone. But further investigation showed that the issue with these devices is that they do become saturated and they stop working. So, and the way to bring them back to life is to put them out in the sunlight and get them to clear up, and then they go back to what they're supposed to do. So I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way to make it so the device doesn't suffer this depletion, and it's doing the work of transmuting orgone, but it's also clearing itself. So what I ended up doing is, first I started using sacred geometry by using the geometric shapes. As I showed you yesterday and Joan on the video, the tetrahedron, the three-sided pyramid, is actually a gateway type device that accesses odd numbered dimensions. So it's always raising the vibration. And then I came across the work of Slum Sperling. I read his book. I saw his film. And in seeing the film, he actually provides the clue of what turns on his devices. And once the device turns on, it never becomes saturated, it never depletes, and it's always changing the spin of the energy from negative spin to positive spin. So combining these elements into my devices, it makes it so the device doesn't suffer this saturation by negative energy, and it's always clearing itself, and it's always projecting the energy over a very large area, like the case of the one that I showed you, that when you place it on a geopathic earth line or a ley line, the line disappears, and it's being transmuted into a higher dimension. So it doesn't become a problem downstream for somebody else, which that was the thing for those that have had a chance to read Mr. Sperling's book. He talks how to deflect ley lines and geopathic lines so they don't affect an area or they don't affect the body, the people living in a house. He did a lot of that work around Denver, Colorado. But the problem with deflection is that the line goes up into the air about 100 feet, and then it begins to curve down, and it goes back into the earth. So it becomes somebody else's problem down the road. So that's why I thought to myself, well, if energy can be transmuted, why can't the negative energy in the line be transmuted so it gets corrected and it doesn't become somebody else's problem? So that was one of the functions of that one particular one that I showed you. Mm-hmm. And you saw that's one of the things I'm going to add to my website. For those interested in taking a browse, it's New Paradigm Tools altogether.com. And what has been happening lately is, since one of my customers about a year ago introduced me to shamanic journeying, I have been asking people to give me their permission to speak to their guides. I'll do a shamanic journey into the upper world, meet with the people's guides, and sometimes they tell me what device would benefit this person. And they give me details. They want it this way, and they want this stone, and it should have this structure. Other times they say, no, what you make doesn't really help this person right now, but please give them the following information. So I'll just send back an email and say, okay, your guides want you to be aware of this. But in the majority of the cases, lately everything, despite what's listed in my website, what I have been making lately, it's all custom orders, because people's guides have things that's specific to the person. And without fail, one of the things I notice in the shamanic journey, for all of us in this, we know that there's no time, no space, everything is in the eternal now. I will see the device sitting on a marble table, completed, and they will actually program it for the person. They will program whatever energies the person needs in their life right now, and they tell me, okay, take it with you. So I'll have to grab it and put it in my chest and bring back the design with me, and then when it's done, it looks just like the one I saw on the table, like the one you saw yesterday, the 5-sided pyramid. So that's what's happening lately.
Well, what is of interest to me in Walt demonstrating these to us over the Skype, through the Skype video pictures, is that I could pass, when he's holding one of these things and directing it toward the camera, I could pass my hand across it and feel the energy of it and feel the effect in myself. So this told me that there's the field of these devices that he creates is limitless. And it works through the subtle energy system, just like what our intent is when we do our manifestations and creations and send them out. And what I like about these constructions of walls, Slim Sperling was a good friend of mine, and we sat down frequently at the American Society of Dowsers meetings, and we had a booth side by side. We even shared a booth one time, and we talked about our various devices, and Slim's constructions were kind of a one device fits all with a general intent, and with what I see with this that Walt is doing here, he's very specific in what he creates these for, because every one of us have different energy fields. Yeah, we have the commonality of the subtle energy field, but our own internal construction makes each one of us a unique individual.
Right. Can I tell you about a funny anecdote of something that happened really recent?
Sure.
A gentleman who actually lives close to me ordered a device, just like the others. I went into did a shamanic journey. The guides showed me specifically what they wanted for him. It turned out to be a really powerful device. I mean, I tried it on myself, and the thing was like, imagine a fire hose that shoots argon as opposed to water. That's how strong this thing turned out to be. And I said to him, Bruce, your guides really know what they're doing, because this thing is stronger than what I've seen so far. And at the time, one of the things I found when I make the implosion coils is, depending on the length of the wire that's used, is the nature of the essence of that field. So using my pendulum and the chart, my guides have given me different measurements of the different lengths and what fields they produce. Some will produce a specific color, etheric color, obviously. Others will produce different essences, like one specific length produces the same essence as a rose. So sitting down in my workshop, I was wondering, I asked with the pendulum if there's a length of wire that I can use that would duplicate the essence of sunlight. And they said yes. And they gave a very specific value. It was 15 inches and 7/16. And I made an implosion coil of that. And I made one for my mom. And immediately she felt a change. Her legs were hurting. And immediately she felt the change. Her legs, the pain went away. And she started walking around really fast. And I thought, oh, okay. I didn't tell her what the coil was doing. So when I visited this gentleman to deliver his device, I don't know the nature of his work or what he does for a living, but he's one of these fellows who has a very depression-like expression in his face, like a sad sack type of individual, who always super serious, even though he might not be discussing anything serious. So he was talking about toward the end of my visit there, we were talking about that. He was feeling low energy, and I said, with all these planetary changes, a lot of people are experiencing this low physical energy right now. And then I remembered I was wearing the coil and how it helped my mom, so I took it out, and he gave me his permission. I hang it around his neck, and when he lifted his head to look at me, he was smiling, and I said, "Are you okay?" He says, "Yes, I'm smiling." And I said, "Yeah, I can see that." And he goes, "Well, I don't know why I'm smiling." And he couldn't wipe the smile off his face. So I said, "Okay, well, now the coil is yours. You can go ahead and keep it." So he did keep it. I mean, he gave me a few dollars, to compensate me for the copper. And I said, "Well, whatever I can do to help you, even if it's just a little bit, I think it's worth something." So I'm glad that you're so. We spoke like 10 more minutes before I left, and he still had the smile on his face, so I guess it was what he needed at that time.
Well, the thing that impresses me about your work is these are all individually handcrafted, and your loving intent goes into them, particularly if you've had the opportunity to tune into the person that you're creating them for. And I see the advantage of Skype in this, where you can communicate directly and observe and see a person and pick up energy from the person of their needs. and their wants. And I think this is going to be an incredibly, what can I say, beneficial creation for all of us. The neat thing about it is he does not charge much for these, considering the time and the materials that he gets into them. I was surprised. They were much more, how can I say this, effective and for the time and involvement, more effective than what Slim Sperling's creations were.
Well, seeing what other websites charge, I told the gentleman who did my website, I said, I think I'm in the wrong business, because that's why he came to me asking me for something for him, because he was showing me links to other websites, and the things that were being offered was $2,000, $3,700 for this other thing, $1,500 for this other thing. I said, Illy, I think I'm in the wrong business. I should.
Well, I agree totally with, that you are entitled, just like when I build my dowsing rods, and there's no tools like them in the world. They're absolutely the best dowsing implements in the world for what they do. And these tools, just with my limited experience with your tools, I think you really have something incredible here. Can you give us the website for people to go to check them out?
Yes. Is there a way to place text on the screen, or just say it out loud?
Just say it out loud for the radio audience.
So it's 3 words together: New Paradigm Tools, plural, .com. So all 3 words together, .com. New Paradigm Tools. .com. That should take you straight to
NEW Paradigm Tools?
Paradigm Tools, with an S, plural, .com.
Paradigm, okay. All right. Well, that's simple enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, and I'd like for you to gather some of your tools around you there, and as we continue on in the show today, observe that
there's something I didn't show you yesterday. If I bring it, maybe I can test you and see what you feel.
That would be
Hold on. I'll go grab it.
What we're we are creating is a modality where through these tools and through crystals and focus of intents that we can create with the Wolf Mind Spirit Radio through Earth Mind and our attunement into Earth energies. We're working directly into the subtle energy field of communication that sustains all things in matter. And everything rises from the subtle energy field. Many call it the matrix. But the subtle energy is what came to me when I first began to literally explore the physics, the dynamics of the physics and the superphysics that underlie the healing energy, and how to transmute matter and to transmute the energy of matter so it has a different effect in reality. And of course, the intent was always for healing, but we've discovered it works with thought forms. It works with earth energies. Okay,
I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I'm pointing it at your face, at your picture. Let's see.
All right, I'm going to click my camera on here, and I think we should be able to. No, it won't work on this particular program, but that's all right, because I'm looking at your picture. I can tune in through the subtle energy field, following the grid of electromagnetic consciousness that we're communicating through. Whoa. All right, and I do feel it. It's interesting. Again, subtle energy is different from physical energy, because the cells respond like each individual cell in your body, like now in my face. Each individual cell is picking up a resonance, and should Walt be projecting intent with his tool, I would feel that in the silicon dioxide in the cell walls of my face, And by stepping back and listening, this would rise into my consciousness. And what's rising now is a wonderful feeling of warmth in my face. It's a glowing sensation of warmth, just like being, whoa, that's incredible. Now it's resonating down into my heart. A wonderful loving glow of nurturing energy. And my hands are beginning to respond and heat up. And this tells me it's coming into resonance with the galactic flow. And now, Walt, this does not necessarily have to be a one-way flow. It can tend.
Everything is connected, so
yeah,
it goes back and forth.
And do you feel your hands beginning to glow?
Yep, they're getting warm.
That's it. That's the galactic flow. That's the flow of unconditional love coming from what is it? We don't know what it is. We don't care. We just know it's available. I can't describe it. It's just there for us, and it surrounds us in this wonderful pool of life force. And the only thing I can describe it as being is just unconditional love that holds the frequency of everything in manifestation, in physical reality. And so all these frequencies are pouring through right now into Walt through his hand, and he can direct these frequencies with his intent to heal or clear or do anything in his physical reality that he wants to extrapolate this energy and utilize it for. In fact, I can focus energy through the system, through the attunement with his tool, and I'm focusing on Walt's heart right now. All right, Walt, what do you feel in your heart?
The impression I get is intense blue-white light.
Blue is in the range, the healing ranges. And I'm also going to resonate now some green range frequencies into your heart to do healing work in your heart, because I'm picking up that you do carry a little excess weight on your body. And
that's right.
This attunement we have on your heart with the blue healing energy wrapping around and empowering the green energy of the heart frequencies is doing a healing and clearing on your heart right now. We're particularly focused on fatty deposits and cholesterol in your heart. Now that's interesting. As I'm doing this, there's also an energy coming out of my throat. And that is a communication energy that's coming into resonance with your throat. And through this, and this resonating through the crystal grid of your cellular consciousness, it's actually educating your system, your subconscious mind, and it's quite a flow. The intensity is building up stronger all the time, isn't it?
I see like a pale pink light at the back of my head.
That's the unconditional love flow coming from the galactics. And through the flows of unconditional love, we're focusing the desired intent to heal your heart. And I feel your heart getting very warm because my heart's getting warm.
Yeah, I can feel it in my chest now.
And what we're projecting, I do my little mantra to focus the intent to the power of the Christ within us. We see Walt's heart in the perfect and normal condition, cholesterol-free, no buildups of fatty plaque, impeding and I'm actually seeing energy racing along the veins and arteries in your heart now, clearing, demanifesting because we're working in the 0 point, demanifesting plaque and anything of a negative condition in his heart is demanifesting, and we see resonating out from the 0 point in your future through the power of the Christ in us. We see this heart in the perfect and normal condition. And we do this with absolutely total certainty that it is happening and it is done. On out into the future as far as we want it to go.
Well, my whole head is on fire. If that's a good sign.
Well, if you feel your brain start to burn, let me know.
Maybe the smoke will clear my ears.
Could be. All right, you do have that wax in your ear problem. Let's just focus on the wax and
yeah, I got 4 candles today at downtown.
All right. We're projecting into the future that those candles will clear the wax from your ears, and your hearing will come back. And also, I'd like to recommend that you use baby oil to loosen and dissolve that wax. It's a wondrous little material. It really works. And after you do the clearing with the candles, just pour a bit of baby oil down in there. Get old Johnson's baby oil and laying on your side, and just let it sit there and put a little hydrogen peroxide with it to kind of mix it around, make it boil. And let it go for 15 minutes or so, and then take a Q-tip and very gently go in there, and you can just wipe all of that off your eardrum itself. You can even touch the eardrum, and then do that a few times, and your hearing problem will be gone. It also clears up and cleans out any candida that might be in your ears causing itching, things of that nature. In fact, that candida is one reason why the wax builds up. It's trying to combat and carry the candida out, but it gets hung up and just builds up and caps everything off. And even though you're only feeling it in one ear, you should do this in both ears after you use the candles to break it down, and you'll have no more problems.
Okay, great.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions about what we're doing? I'd like to ask the group now, or anyone out in the field, if you can feel what's happening with Walt and I as we're discussing the changes in his heart. Everyone out there that are in our resonance through the subtle energy field may be getting a heart clearing right now, and if so, give me feedback. David, what do you feel? Can you feel anything?
Yeah, I did. I actually saw the heart light up and became completely golden and just started emanating light and just moving up and up and up and up. And I saw it move out into the future as it should be.
Wonderful. Gary, did you get a healing? It's ongoing right now. You should be able to feel it. Gary Warder?
Well, I'll just jump in and say my heart's been palpating. I get a little bit of a skip in my step. It feels kind of nice. It's very light.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I continue to be feeling it. The whole thing, as it went down, seemed to be happening in me. But I don't know to what degree compared to how it was happening with you guys, but I felt, like the energy moving, the way it was moving that you described as you were describing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the realization is that the tool that Walt is holding, and although I haven't seen it, that's amplifying and the intent and energy of what we're doing. And that's interesting because as I said that, my throat got much stronger, an energy field coming out of my throat. Oh, it's the intent. The intent. It's amplifying the intent of what we're doing with the subtle energy field. That's great. All right, we have some new tools to play with here.
I have a question for Walt. This orgonite that you were holding, what originally was your design for it?
This device is one of the very first ones that I made because at the time I was reading up everything I could find on orgonite. Maybe some in the group have heard of the name Don Croft, a gentleman who I believe he lives in Oregon or Washington State. He is one of the originators of the grassroots movement of people gifting cell phone towers with orgonite and other big antennas with orgonite. And I remember the gentleman had a blog in a website called ethericwarriors.com, and he is the first person that I read who spoke about something called a power wand. So he gave a link to a website, and I visited the website, and I saw what was the structure of a power wand, which is a large Lemurian crystal wrapped in Mobius coils. And the purpose of the power wand is the coil is meant to be energized with square wave, especially the output of for those that have heard of Dr. Hulda Clark. She came up with this device called the zapper, which when you hold the handles, the square wave goes through your body and kills off bacteria and microbes and viruses. So Don Croft would feed that signal into the coils wrapped around the crystal, and the purpose of that, it generates tremendous amounts of scalar waves, and the scalar energy is piped through the crystal and projected wherever you want. But one of the things with my pendulum, when I do that, the device is so strong that here in Minneapolis, a group of ladies, psychic ladies, whose job was to clear haunted places, of all things, I wanted to see how this thing would work. So they were contracted to clear a haunted Mexican restaurant. The owner was having terrible trouble, a lot of employee turnover because employees were seeing things, hearing things. So the ladies were called in, and the restaurant was made of two buildings joined together, and they took the power wand, put it in one building, and turned it on, and the group went to the other building to do their clearing. And when they came back to the first building, they had nothing to do. The entire building had been cleared, and there was nothing left for them to do, so they just turned it off and packed it up. But I'm asking with my pendulum, the energy output of it, when this Mobius coil is being energized with a signal, is too strong to be near it for, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. So what I decided to do is, instead of energizing it with an electronic signal, I made an implosion coil. I used the length of wire equal to 2 royal cubits, and that's what's being piped through the coils and the crystal, the energy of an implosion coil. So that way the energy is more subtle, and it's not as harmful as standard scalar waves can be.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's something that everyone should be aware of in terms of using these tools. The tools themselves have no power. It's the construction, the way they're configured, working in the energy fields, and it's your intent. And to the degree and ability you can focus your desire and will and intent into those coils and to stimulate them to do their work.
Correct, because energy is intelligent. So I totally agree, because energy is intelligent, and that's what they follow our consciousness.
Exactly. That's why a person who just buys one of these and brings it and sets it in their home and expects it to work forever, forget it. It'll work till the next day when it has lost its intent. And but if that person will keep recharging, it's just like with crystals. If you just charge them and then set them aside and forget them, well, they forget you very promptly too. Because it's all consciousness working together with intent and directed energy and flow. Just like when we were doing the healing on Walt's heart, that's intended, directed intent, working through the subtle energy fields, creating forms and little vortexes of energy that carry the intent and the power to bring about the desired effect. And that is not limited to just what we're feeling right here between the two of us. It resonates outward to anyone listening, because your attention, your attunement, brings you into that grid of consciousness to where you can just as effectively be using the energies 10,000 miles away or on the other side of the world. And this is what happened with Wolf Spirit Radio, and that's why it's such a tremendous tool, is that we can use the electromagnetic construct to carry the subtle energy fields. Well, we got that out. All right. Any comments from anyone out there?
I agree.
That was right on.
Yeah, with what you were saying about the energy, and all of us can pick it all up, but we have learned not to, because there's so much energy out there in the world, and most of us have put up like a barrier so that the negative doesn't keep bombarding you horribly bad. And so you have to allow and be discerning on what to let in and what not to let in.
Yeah, that's the fear of being subjective, is you allow negative things in. But with discernment, that's the power of discernment, of focusing with your mind exactly what you want to have happen and creating that reality, because you're creating standing waves with your brain and through resonance with the heart, the 0 point. Every time you put your focus of consciousness on manifesting or visualizing anything, and so you don't need to be afraid of energy. You simply have to learn to master it with your awareness and your intent, and use it to dematerialize or block out anything negative. Go ahead, Gary. You were going to comment.
I forgot already what was going on there.
I
got distracted.
This is Marilyn. I do have a comment. When Walt was doing that energy thing, my heart was feeling like, like a hummingbird would feel. Sort of just a real beautiful, high energy buzz. And also, another comment I would have is 2 minutes before the eclipse last night, Walt also mentioned this image of a fire hose being turned on. That's the energy I felt coming from in my body. No, it was flowing completely through my body, just fast like that, 2 minutes before the eclipse. And then this morning, the thing that I noticed was that had affected the earth too, because, as well as myself, because the bottom of my feet were like alive for the first time, and every part of my foot was sort of like energy moving, and could feel the earth doing the same thing. Just kind of a uniting. It was awesome. That was my eclipse experience. Thought you guys were looking.
All right, the sound coming in, Rachel, is that the galactic sound trying to come in? Can you tell?
For a second, it did sound like that, but I'm not sure.
All right. I intended to invite the galactic energy in at a later time when we really get things amplified up and get our intent out there. And there it is. It is coming in. It is working with us.
I think that's traffic sound. Somebody's mic's open. Is there somebody got a car going by?
Yeah, it sounds like some background sound.
Oh, that's probably, there's a lot of traffic going by my house.
Okay, turn that on.
Just close the door, that might help. I'll meet.
Okay.
Well,
Is that any better now?
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. I have
The
two.
cars stopped going by temporarily.
Okay.
Well, when we closed the door, that helped.
Go ahead, Diane.
I was just going to tell you I have two segments on the recording from Sunday that would probably be good. One is about, the first one is about 10 minutes. It's more like when I think Francis was giving some information, and then it goes skip forward, and there's another one about 6 minutes long and includes getting into a meditative state. So whenever you're ready.
Well, let's listen to those, and that'll get us into the frame of mind to do whatever we want to create today.
Okay.
I've got the queued up at a place where the tones start coming in for a few minutes. Is that what Diane's got ready to go?
No, but that's good, Gary. Keep that for later if the tones don't come.
Yeah, so anytime you guys want to put that on, it's ready here.
Perfect.
Okay. Have to worry about that too. Okay. All right. So the first one I'm going to play, and I'm going to play it from my MP3 player. So hopefully the sound level is okay. It starts just after JP had to interrupt because the energy coming through was so strong that it garbled the signal. So this is starting right after that, where you explain about the energies. So this goes for minutes. Here it goes, and then I have to stop it and fast forward to the next part.
Okay, Frank, are you back with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, that's better. Okay.
Can you hear?
Excellent. Much clearer.
Yeah.
Much clearer.
Yes. What was I put an intensity of energy out that distorted the computer, because I put my attention on the computer, was sending directly through the computer, and I'm moderating that now so I don't destroy the computer's capacity to transmit this energy. But the question is, everyone out there, open up and listen now. If you're focused on a computer or on a telephone or anything else, just let this resonance come to you and through you, and you'll feel yourself. It comes in the back of your head, through the 0 point in the heart, and that's where we focus our intent, is through the 0 point. So the waves of energy that resonate out from us carry the intelligent knowledge and the capacity to affect things. And so I'd like to send this wave out to all of you now. And I know my Earth Mind Think Tank group are tuning into this frequency, and they are sending the energy out likewise. Catherine, do you feel what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. Through the whole talk, I've been feeling it. And what we need to do is allow ourselves to feel it. Don't go hunting for it. Don't go pondering, don't analyze. Just allow yourself to feel.
And don't ever question, am I worthy of feeling these energies? You certainly are. Everyone is. This is non-judgmental. It's open to everyone equally out here. It's literally tuning into the energy field that Tesla was working with. Only he was working in the electromagnetic field. And we're working in the subtle energy field that supports the electromagnetic field. And so, yes, it can become quite overpowering to the point where in the past I've had difficulty with recorders and things of that nature because they said we couldn't record the communication that's coming through. But I learned how to amp that down and focus it and stabilize it to where you should all be feeling it now. And in our second hour, when we really focus on the healing work with each other, we'll not only be limited to healing ourselves or the human capacity, we can heal the world as well. And that's the intent of the think tank group, is we get together twice a week just to work with Earth energies and heal conditions around the Earth, instabilities and potentials that could cause mass disasters. And we know, we have feedback that we've managed to affect a lot of things that could have been disastrous for the Earth already, but it doesn't have to be. So as we talk about that and project our awareness into the future, I feel that another shift of power coming in now, of looking to the future of Earth through Earth mind, learning to communicate with the living consciousness of Earth, with Gaia. Where too much human stress is creating distortions. And it gives us the opportunity to work with those weather patterns and work the earthquake energy grid and the weather grids so that we can help influence and stabilize things. I know it seems kind of wild out there now, particularly this spring with the weather in the eastern part of the United States and around the world. But folks, it could have been a lot worse had not enlightened people like ourselves and other groups been doing exactly what we're doing now, is focusing desire and
pull back on it,
consciousness to work directly with the subtle energy fields that support and sustains not only all life but all physical things on Earth.
I want to say thank you to everybody who opened their hearts up, because I felt it and it was delicious. So thank you all.
That's a beautiful word, Kath, and delicious in reference to the feeling that comes out of our heart centers as we do this work. It's so satisfying, it's so fulfilling, it's so complete that we need not even question it. It simply is. And in this moment of now, which is...
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Dave, just let me know the stream was kind of bad. Okay, I'll keep going. We're almost done.
The whole moment of the 0 point. In this moment of now, we have the capacity. And as we gain more empowerment through further communication with other minds and people, we increase the capacity to influence and harmonize the world in dominion, which is neutralizing the domination forces that are causing all the disruption now. As they battle to maintain control and domination, they disrupt every system that they possibly can to keep us from flowing and moving forward. But it is happening. Do you have any comments or contributions, anyone?
Frank, sending a wave of this love forward into the future is...
That's the galactic flow coming in. that energy seems to be overwhelming the recording, even though we can't hear it auditorially.
Gary, can you mute for just 1 minute?
First of all, just wait.
Oh, mute.
From the galactic center, from the God Force, well in intent, that we be co-creators, that we continue creating and manifesting in dominion in such a manner that all the self-destructive domination forces simply can't function. So that everything in the future will be of a beautiful, harmonious, creative, bounteous nature. And so let's express what we are seeing into the future now in this wholeness that we're coming into. I see total harmony between people. You can call that peace, you call it a balance. We're in dominion where whatever we receive, we keep back in proportion and by some means to help balance and harmonize and keep everything in perfect balance and harmony around the world. And if anything gets out of balance, then the focus of attention from everyone is to bring it back into balance so that it's become a beneficial form and not a detrimental form. Can you come forth now with some new...
Okay, so that's the first section. And then I'll go forward to the meditation. Sorry. Maybe you could talk for a minute while I cue this part up. Okay.
Now remember, our intent is to magnify it using not only our group mind consciousness, but Walt's tools, magnifying this through the power and the energy of the galactic alignment last night, the eclipse. And it's like extending ourselves backward in time and encompassing that period and resonating the desire and will that is being recorded or listened to from the recorder, amplifying it with our own intent into the future. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's the meditation.
And in order for that to be accomplished, all old realities that hold the pattern and continue ongoing recreation of those old forms will have to be relaxed and released. That's going through the neck of the bottle. So as we look forward and create all potentials, utilizing all sources of energy that we have, and all the skills and abilities and intelligence that we have, we are creating the thought, the intent, the purpose, because everything is the thought in form. And so let's now just unify all of our thought consciousness together into one solid mold of intent. Close your eyes and just in your hearts feel the words that are interacting with our DNA right now that we've expressed. And all the things that we haven't expressed that we know is potential. Feel your hearts resonating with your words now, creating the form of the standing wave of the future. In this moment of now, as the old waves collapse behind us, as we move through the neck of the bottle, put your intent forward, right straight out in front of you, resonating it into from all directions and all sources all over the world that are listening, into a ball of energy ionosphere before. We see the power of our intent resonating into the ionosphere and into our golden grid. And that resonance radiating back into Earth mind from the positive polarity of the ionosphere, the oversoul, radiating back into the earthquake grid and the Earth grid itself. The Akashic records of Earth mind, releasing the form of all old domination and all old forms and patterns that would interfere and not allow the vision we have created to move forward. Through the power of the Christ within us, we act as one unified consciousness in the 0 point of our hearts and of Earth mind and of Earth itself. I feel this ball of energy growing and expanding, being enriched with the intent and the needs of all creation on Earth, all living things, that all the environment, all creatures in the environment who will benefit from the things we have visualized and created, and all of those things which we have yet to visualize and create. Feel that resonance down as it open the door. Our hearts, moving outward, incorporate all the higher potentials, all the higher frequencies of dominion, co-creation with the God force, as we work through the subtle energy fields of the matrix. And feel yourself becoming living co-creators with God. And that intent, we resonate forward in the standing waves. We literally create the standing waves of the future. And feel their resonance reflect back to us, reflecting back the future that is already there. This is what being in dominion is being responsible not only for ourselves and all living things in this moment of now, but being responsible for and caretakers of all things of the future. Because we are setting the foundation of this new world, the new expression of life on Earth. And we feel our golden ball growing from our hearts outward, expanding outward to encompass every living being, every living animal, every living creature, everything having DNA. And this abundance of life has the power to carry into the future ways its desire for a full and fruitful life. An intelligent, loving, giving, sharing, empowering life. That each of us may live out our cycles and continue on in other forms. And so
So it is.
Okay, let's have some galactic sound, Gary.
Okay, just give me a sec here.
And the galactic flow, the galactic frequencies that come in are set to our whatever we express in our intent, and it's just like you look through a strip of movie film and see a set image that the projector projects out as life on the screen. That's what the galactic flow is doing. It is flying the energy to our words through the screen of our words, our intent to manifest into form what it is we've desired. So go ahead, Gary.
Okay, is it loud, the right loudness for you guys? Can you hear it?
Yeah. flows sound chaotic is because they are neutralizing the chaos on Earth. So they have to match the frequencies of everything on negative on Earth to do that.
I don't know if it's just my impression, but a lot of it is going into the oceans, isn't it?
It is. A lot of it has to do with the pollution, clearing the pollution in the oceans.
But we're hearing the carrier. The real content is embedded inside.
Exactly. Now, for all of you who came to us tonight with the expectation of healing, the healing has been happening as you've been listening. And if your request is for someone else, just direct what we've been hearing now to that person with the intent, the knowledge, the sure and perfect knowledge that we are all one and they are healed. Bring them back into perfection. See the power of the Christ within us, everyone in our listening field. We're touching to it. Okay, was that the end of it, Gary?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that was interesting to me because in my mind, that's the most chaotic one we've ever heard. Because normally when we're working more closely in, it's working with our own personal problems and helping to balance and harmonize and create beneficial flows within us. That one was dealing with the chaos of Earth. And that's why it sounded so chaotic. But each one of those carrier waves, as Walt indicated, is carrying frequencies that are clearing explicit things out of the Earth mind and out of the standing waves of the established domination fields on Earth. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel incredibly benefited by listening to that, open and full and free. And so with our intent to resonate that forward in time, which was also stated in the recording, I think we've done or created a tremendous start. I'm listening, I'm not getting words. All right. The standing waves for intent that we've been pulling together and utilizing for internal clearing and healing on to the degree that have been aware that we can do this, is creating a wave of manifestation around the earth. And it is amplified not only through the resonant energies of the crystalline consciousness structures on earth, but we're reminded that a similar thing was used in South Africa 100,000 or more years ago in the stone circles that can be found all over South Africa, where they picked up the energy of the cosmos, and by creating these circular structures and focusing the energy of the cosmos, they were actually able to create enough heat through the various mechanisms they had available to them at that time to melt gold out of the rock they were crushing in their mines in South Africa, and accumulating gold and bring it together for the Anunnaki to take back to Nibiru. So there's tremendous energy all around us. It is said that there's enough energy in a match head, if it were ignited, to blow an entire city apart. And so the concentration of energy that holds the form of all reality is held by the divine creator and the original intent to manifest physical form that living sentient beings could express and experience life in all ways possible. And so there's only a few unstable elements like uranium, for example, that easily can disrupt the force of consciousness that holds that form in balance, and with the resultant explosions or electrical energy that we can create with it. However, the force of our own desire and will of every individual it has tremendous potential of manifesting and holding the form of a physical reality through the resonance coming from DNA strands and the codes in the DNA itself. The codes, in the way they're structured with the four basic elementals of what they do is resonate the four basic elements of creation: the weak energy, the weak force, the strong force, electromagnetism, and gravity, and coupled with the fifth course, which is consciousness, that directs and unifies and holds the form of everything that manifests and comes into reality. So that's one simple formula of A plus B plus C plus D divided by C, consciousness, is the formula that brings everything into form. And the equal sign is our intent, and what we as God-given creatures want to do with it. This is why we can be effective in changing the balance of nature and the creative forms of all reality, and particularly in working directly with the standing waves of past creations of consciousness that are still in form. That's why the sound was so distorted today coming through. We do have other recordings that are beautiful and harmonious and nurturing. This one we listened to today and Sunday night was designed to break down the standing wave forms of negativity on earth, because our intention asked for that. And so I would like to ask now for the ladies that have the bowls that summon the galactic forms in, let's put our intent forward to the time when the Earth will be balanced and back in harmony and in dominion. And let's ask the galactics to bring in flows of dominion energy, much as what we experienced in the further meditation when we went back in time and to when Earth was a paradise without the disharmony of humans created. Let's ask again to take ourselves back in time to that point, pre-human, extend it to the future, a resonance of energy just to wrap around all consciousness of Earth that has that incredible experience we had of experiencing life, dominion without domination forces in it. And so, ladies, if you will tune your bowls, let's focus our attention on the galactic flow and ask for beautiful flows now of harmonious galactic energy that we can further project into the past to replace the dissonant standing waves of disharmony with beautiful waves of harmony and creation, so that we can wipe out this entire period of negativity that's held in form on Earth at this time. And so we can resonate also the standing waves into the future using the power of the eclipses and the T-square to manifest the reality of the new world dimension of reality. Can you play your bowls now? We'll pull it in.
Rachel. Oh, it's nice.
Rachel, I can hear them faintly. Can you give us a tone, a vocal tone,
Okay.
with the desired intent to bring in the galactic flows, and so we can use them to create peace on Earth?
Malamonde colinemor Amane adoria le aramatoriama. Anyara ne anyara le onyea. Hialamuane holiam. He alamutwariama.
Open your hearts and just become full receptive channels. Let the energy just flow directly in through your heart, and with the intent of what we want to create, which is peace and harmony on earth. the way it works is we have to still all conscious frontal lobe mental activity, and we step back into the sacred center, and just totally focus our desire, our need for the flows to come in. And this time we ask them to come in with harmonious healing flows to heal Earth and bring Earth back in harmony after the previous program that destructed, tore down the standing waves and frequencies. Now, you can feel the flow still coming in, although they're not audio, so this resonance pouring through our hearts and out into the galactic, the subtle energy fields of Earth, directly from the galactic core. You can feel them resonating through you. And when we want to call them as being shown in the future, to all join together, and because I have to be totally clear with absolutely no thought in mind except the desire for the flows to come in. As soon as my mind kicks in and I start thinking about it, it starts to die out. So the more we can all do that, just stay totally focused and like an open vessel, just sucking in the flows and sending them out back into Earth Mind consciousness, the more effective it can be. So let's practice that now. All of you, just totally still your minds. We step back into the center of these flows, into the God center in the middle of our heads, and reach, and it's just like inhaling the energy to bring the energies back again. Actually, they're here. They are here. It's just subliminal. My whole body just feels like radiant waves of colors rippling through me, resonating out through me. Waves of love and harmony. So we direct that into Earth Mind, into the Akashic Records, through all of Earth's mind memory and the surface of the Earth, imprinting into the Earth Mind to become the instinctive consciousness of all living things, the impetus, the desire for life and to experience all things possible as all living things on Earth in dominion, the dominion being the caretaking of humans over all other species. Now we must be aware that we are living resonators, each one of us listening today, of this energy that comes through, raising our frequency ranges into the fourth dimension, so that our thoughts, our actions, our choices are all focused in to be living vessels of resonance of these flows and of the desire of the God force to experience all things natural in harmony in nature. and for life and the abundance of life to be not only maintained but enhanced for all living creatures on earth. And as we focus our intent on anyone and everyone who still holds patterns of domination in their consciousness, we literally flush those patterns away, replacing them with flows of dominion, mutual love and respect in all things. Now direct your attention to the crystals around you and to your lights, and fill your crystals with this flow so they become living resonators around you. Direct this flow into the computers, into the electromagnetic grid, so every computer on Earth resonates these flows. And these flows are pure, unconditional love. Love giving, energy giving, empowerment giving, with no expectation of return. Knowing, realizing as we give that way, the return comes back to us 100-fold in all other ways to nurture and support us in everything we encounter. Extend your awareness out now through the electronic grid, the web. This energy is rising directly from the subtle energy field now. We've become conduits, resonators, capacitators. Resonated through the electronic grid into the earth mind grid, the Akashic records that holds all consciousness. It holds the history of all consciousness. So we turn our hands down to the earth now, radiating this energy, these flows, into earth mind, and we feel it rippling around the world through the power of the galactics, through the power of the Christ within us, through the pure intent and knowing of our higher consciousness. And we feel the intensity of our love, our consciousness, our intent empowered through the crystals and through the forms that Walt will be creating. And we look forward to the school we're creating in Garden Valley and the community we'll create in Garden Valley, where this field of love and mutual nurturing will empower and hold all life in dominion, so we become a resonator of consciousness that will connect with communities all over the world with the same intent until we have a grid of golden consciousness resonating down through from our golden grid in the ionosphere. We feel it lighting up now with our power and our intent. And we direct our power and intent to the pyramid structures around the world and the pyramidal grid, which was created hundreds of thousands of years to bring this kind of energy to Earth from other galaxies. But it was subverted into negativity. So we send a wash of energy around now through the pyramids, all around the world, and all ancient structures, clearing the resonances of those ancient structures, transmuting the negativity into positive energy, so the pyramids continue to resonate and enhance dominion on Earth. And we see this resonating into the future, empowered by the power of the eclipse, the alignment, and the teeth alignment, and through the astrological portents and potentials of dominion through the solar system. And we call in and download and internalize and express the wisdom of the ancients as we empower the angelic forces to assist us and the devic forces of nature to assist us. And we walk upon the earth with a growing awareness of the gods that we really are. We feel our DNA strands, all scrambled DNA in every cell in our bodies, reassembling into the 12 strands, so we can be more and more receptive every day to the information coming into us. We become greater channels, resonating information to everyone on Earth through all communication grids and means. We see ourselves youthening, the telomeres in every cell in our bodies, reuniting from the etheric form into the physical form to continue directing the essences of youth and vitality, communicating to the DNA strands that hold the patterns of youth and vitality, so they're resonating, youthening, replacing the aging patterns with youthening patterns. Every day we're younger in every way. Let that be our personal mantras. Every day I'm younger in every way, and resonate that to the DNA as our desire, will, and intent, and it responds. And we resonate that into the future standing waves of our personal realities, and seeing ourselves in the future as young, vital beings again, 29 years of age with all our faculties, in the best, most positive physical condition we can possibly experience. And we feel that happening within ourselves now.
So be it.
So it is.
Wonderful.
Amen.
Hey, I just grew 4 more hairs on my head.
Woohoo! I grew 4 more on my chin. No.
We have about a minute and a half left, I believe.
Is that all? For heaven's sakes. Well, this has been wonderful, guys. I do love and appreciate every one of you.
Hallelujah. Thank you all very much.
We're very lucky.
Thank you very much.
And our gracious host, Bill.
And the galactic, thank you.
Oh, God.
We didn't even have to ask for that one. See, that shows the intelligence that is working with us. They are listening to us. They are empowering us. And they are teaching us every day. But under universal law, they cannot interfere with us. All they can do is inspire us to create the world that we're entitled to, capable of creating. And it'll be uniquely human.
Dave says, say goodbye.
Walk in love, everybody. Walk in love.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I know.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone, for the great healing.
And I'm going to go.